I'm Alan Morgan. I'm the Director of Athletics at Carson-Newman University. And on behalf of Dr. Randall O'Brien, our President, and First Lady Kay O'Brien, who asked that we extend to you a very, very warm welcome on their behalf. As all of us know now, Dr. O'Brien and Kay are taking a very short and much needed break, but they did want to say to you seniors, they will be back in December to see that you get your diploma. I've talked to the faculty, and that's still up for debate from some of you. But also on behalf of Dr. Paul Percy, our acting president in Dr. O'Brien's absence, the faculty and staff, we want to welcome all the family, the parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and friends that are gathered here today to celebrate our 2016 Convocation. On behalf of everyone at Carson-Newman, again, we say congratulations to the graduates and welcome to Carson-Newman.
Praise God. I'm Priska Jameli from Kenya, and I'm going to read the verse from the book of Jeremiah, verse 29, verse 11. Yeremia 29 mstari wa 11, na inasema, maana nayajua mawazo ninayowaazia ninyi, asema Bwana, ni mawazo ya amani wala si ya mabaya, kuwapa ninyi tumaini siku zenu za mwisho. Nanyi mtaniita, mtakwenda na kuomba, nami nitawasikiliza. And that's the word of God.
My name is Lisa, I'm from the Netherlands. Want ik weet welke plannen ik voor u heb, zegt Heere. Met deze plannen heb ik voor u het goede op het oog en niet het kwade. Ik wil u weer toekomst en goede hoop geven.
My name is Mark and I'm from Germany. Denn ich weiß wohl, was ich für Gedanken über euch habe, spricht der Herr, nämlich Gedanken des Friedens und nicht des Leidens, dass ich euch gebe, das Ende, das ihr erwartet.
My name is Jesús, I'm from Spain. Porque yo sé los pensamientos que tengo acerca de vosotros, dice Jehová, pensamientos de paz y no de mal, para daros el fin que esperáis.
And now Jeremiah 29:11 from the Common English Bible. I know the plans I have in mind for you, declares the Lord. They are plans for peace and not disaster, to give you a future filled with hope.
I will announce the Teaching and Leadership Awards in a minute. After that, Sarah Beth Maddox will give the charge to the students as our president of the Student Government Association. I will have some brief remarks that Dr. O'Brien normally would have delivered, although they'll be mine, not his. It is my privilege to present the Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award today. Carson-Newman University has earned the reputation of providing an excellent education based on the pillars of academic excellence and Christian commitment because of the quality of all who have chosen to work and study here. For the past 165 years, Carson-Newman's dedicated and competent faculty and staff and its wonderfully gifted students have labored together at this sacred and holy place. Today we are specifically recognizing exemplary work by a non-tenured faculty member through the Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award. The Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award is given to a faculty member who, early in his or her career, demonstrates especially creative and effective instruction and who makes noteworthy leadership contributions to the overall academic program of his or her department or the university as a whole. Will the former recipients who are in attendance today please stand so that you may be recognized? This year, we had a wimpy committee, and there are two recipients of the 2016 Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award. Either that we had a wimpy committee or they both were just that good, and it's probably they both are just that good. As a university that is predicated on teaching in the classroom, the first recipient has quickly become one of our finest teachers. The first recipient's course evaluations or reputation among students speak to his ability to connect with students and make the classroom an inviting place for interactive learning. He uses a variety of modes of teaching, taking advantage of technology and popular culture to connect with students. His enthusiasm, patience, and sense of humor make him one of the most popular professors on campus. His classrooms are lively, he makes the students feel relaxed, and he emphasizes student participation. He is an excellent teacher who has the ability to relate to the students and coax their best work from them, whether they be as a result of his high expectations or from the desire to not disappoint him. It is my great privilege to award a 2016 Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award to Dr. Michael Sobiak, Assistant Professor of English. Just stand there and I got more to say. Mike's department chair, Dr. Sean O'Hara, describes Mike as a virtual one-man band. Since Mike's arrival 4 semesters ago, he has served as a driving force behind the newly developed professional writing minor and has also served the students in the English department as director of the writing program and has restructured our writing lab and training of student tutors. His leadership has resulted in a valuable resource that serves to benefit the entire campus community. Again, it is our pleasure to recommend Mike Sobiak as recipient of the Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award. As Dr. Sobiak's family live out of state and are not present today, his Carson-Newman English family are sitting with Dr. Sobiak. Would they please stand? You didn't wonder why they all wanted to bond so much today? The second recipient of the Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award is described by their department chair as an excellent colleague who meets every situation with professionalism and a positive outlook. Her years of public school experience combined with her publication and presentation record and department leadership make her a one-of-a-kind individual on our campus. She teaches the classes and addresses the content, but additionally, she has the ability to speak from a wealth of professional experience, something that cannot be found in a textbook. Her teaching is outstanding, and her course reviews reflect that students love her. In addition to her good work in the classroom, she has taken leadership roles in the department and co-authored our new special education programs, which were passed by the state, making Carson-Newman one of the first 7 programs in the state to pass the new rigorous requirements for program approval for special education. A colleague shared that a student told them that they wanted to be just like our second recipient when they grow up. When asked why, the student said, "She is just so positive, and she knows how to handle problems when they come up in the classroom. She really cares about people." The second recipient of the Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award integrates her deeply held Christian faith in all of her classes. She sets high standards for courses and students, and she is known as a conscientious and compassionate mentor. She advises across different programs at the undergraduate and graduate level and devotes great amounts of time and attention to each of her students. Dr. Lucinda Cindy Lang understands too She understands that being a faculty member at Carson-Newman is more than simply teaching the assigned courses. Dr. Lang willingly took on the responsibility of coordinating our newly designed off-site graduate programs. Her organizational skills have contributed to the success of the program. Dr. Lang is a leader of departmental initiatives and contributes to the long-range planning of the department. Dr. Cindy Lang serves as co-advisor for the Student Tennessee Education Association group at Carson-Newman, and she, along with spouse Al and their children, are frequent participants in campus activities ranging from sports activities to theater productions. In short, Dr. Lang has become a vital part of the Carson-Newman community in her short amount of time being here. Please join me again in congratulating Dr. Cindy Lang, recipient of the 2016 Teaching Excellence and Leadership Award. Joining Cindy today are her husband, Al Lang. Where are they? Stand up. Children Harper and Maggie Lang. You know those people? And her parents, Charlie and Donna Ellenberg.
Good morning. Welcome everyone, staff, faculty, students, family members, and seniors. We made it to our last year. For some of us in this room, this is the 4th time we've attended this convocation, but for some of you, it may even be the first time you've ever entered Holt Fieldhouse. However, I hope it's not the last, because there are going to be some awesome games this year, and basing by how packed it is, we can certainly pack out the house for those games. However, today, we're here for Convocation. This is a time where the first time as a campus, as Carson-Newman University, we get to meet together. So go ahead and look around. These are your friends, your professors, the people you pass on Henderson. This is our family. So they tell us that college is the best 4 years of our lives. For some of us, it may be a few more than 4 years. But here at Carson-Newman, I definitely believe it's the best time. I can't imagine myself anywhere else but here at Mossy Creek. However, college is up to whatever we make it. I know we all know the saying of whatever you put into something is how much you're going to get out of it. However, I hope you know that is certainly so true. Our Carson-Newman community is one of a kind. For many people, during orientation, you all went to a prayer walk. Whether that was 3 years ago, whether that was this time, or maybe you chose to not even go. However, as a community, this is something Carson-Newman puts on for us. I don't know what other school is going to have their staff and their faculty praying over us as students to begin our school year and continuing on. That is something special and something I'm glad to be a part of at this school. We are truly cared for here. So, as Welcome Week is happening, our classes are getting underway. I just want to encourage you to be the best possible you that you can be this year. Have fun at Carson-Newman and be your best. Go ahead, get those assignments in on time. If you need help, go to the library, find those study groups, because this is what college is for. We're here together, we're growing, and we're learning together as one family. In John 13, verse 7, Jesus replied, "You do not understand what I'm doing now, but someday you will." These can be the most challenging years put before us, but also these are the years that shape us and mold us into what's to come. This is who we become, who we are. So the biggest push that I have for you is to get involved. Find something you want to be a part of. Make an intramural team. Go ahead and get out of your comfort zone. Join one of our many clubs on campus, participate in athletic events, or just routinely meet up with friends. These are countless ways to get involved here at Carson-Newman, and so do it. Make these college years count. Pat Summitt once said that your attitude is a choice. What you think you can do, whether it's positive, negative, confident, or scared, that's what's going to happen. So together, let's choose to be the best. Let's choose to make this year count, and let's be the best personal versions of ourselves that we can be. Welcome home, Eagles. I'm glad you're here.
Students, and especially our seniors, on behalf of President O'Brien and First Lady Kay O'Brien, the trustees of Carson-Newman University, our 20,000 alumni, and our faculty and staff, welcome to the beginning of our 165th year. That's worth clapping for. It is an honor to speak to you today. It is clearly an honor to be part of Carson-Newman. Thank you, Alan, for bringing the welcome to our opening convocation this morning. It is a privilege to serve with you as acting co-president. And welcome to our better halves, Phyllis Morgan and Jan Percy. Stan. We both married way up. Absolutely. And to our seniors, please stand. Congratulations, you have made it this far. Don't quit now, finish the race. When I was very young, my grandfather told me, get a college education so that you will have more opportunities than your dad and me. He actually said, so you're not a working class stiff like your dad and me. My grandfather and father worked at General Mills until the flour plant closed. Then my father worked at Westinghouse until it closed. Then at age 55, my father went to basic training to be a New York State prison guard. He spent his first year commuting the 400-plus miles from Buffalo, New York, to New York City's famous Sing Sing prison. Later, after he put his time in at Sing Sing, he was transferred upstate, where he worked for the next 10 years until he retired in 1998. My grandfather was right to advise me to get a college degree. Do not be mistaken, there is nothing wrong. In fact, there is everything right about how hard my father worked to take care of my mother, his 4 kids, my Aunt Betty and my Grandpa Klein, who lived with us, and always a dog or two and maybe a cat, in our nice but modest 1.5-story, 3-bedroom home. In fact, all of my years growing up, I never remember my father ever calling in sick. I do remember him working every overtime shift he could possibly get. I remember hot August days when I would pick him up at 7:30 when he had gone into work before I was even out of bed to go to school, and he would be exhausted from the heat. Yet he got up the next day to do it again and again, day after day. And my mother waited tables until she retired, and if you've ever worked in food, you know how hard that work is. As I watched this growing up, I knew my grandfather was right to tell me to get a college education. However, as the oldest of 4 children, the opportunity to afford college was not an option. Along the way, as a high school student, some very fine people from Cleveland Drive Presbyterian Church, where I attended youth group, took several of us across the Northeast to Christian colleges like Wheaton in Illinois, Gordon in Massachusetts, Houghton in Western New York. All private colleges, all Christian, and all more than I could afford or my family could afford. So I did the only thing I knew to afford them. I joined the Air Force in 1974, when being in the military was just about the least popular place a person could be. But that made it possible for me to go to and graduate from Houghton College with the GI Bill. Now let me tell you what it was like to be the first child who went to college from your family. When I went to see the dean, I thought Dean was his first name. A bit ironic considering I stand here today as the provost and have held the title Dean of the College, Dean of the Faculty, Dean of this, and Dean of that. And it's not my first name. And I have a master's in business and a PhD in management. So yes, my grandfather was right. Getting a college education has changed my life and my family's economic circumstances. And now you have the opportunity to change your family's life, your family's opportunities. New information from the U.S. Census Bureau reinforces the value of a college education, as workers over 18 who have a bachelor's degree on average earn almost twice as much as those with a high school diploma. But there is much more to getting a college degree than achieving material success. I believe education is one of the foundations for our republic. General Omar Bradley said, "Education makes a people easy to lead, but difficult to drive, easy to govern, but impossible to enslave." I believe education empowers your ability to contribute to our world, and in fact, I believe education requires you to contribute to our world. Consistent with our mission statement of helping students reach their full potential as educated citizens and worldwide servant leaders. Over 4 years, you have bought and paid for and hopefully read a lot of books. My guess is that if you bought all the books you should have, you have invested over $4,000 in books over the past several years, only to find their resale value was like that of a Chrysler minivan. So I hope many of you kept your books. I only ever sold one book. I got a D in the course, so I didn't want to keep it. So now I have books everywhere. I have to have 2 offices to hold them, plus a wall full at my house. But regardless of the size of your library, there is one book, however, that never goes out of date, that belongs in every library, that is more precious than gold or silver. Hebrews 12 says, "The Word of God is alive and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart." And that book is the Bible. And as we heard this morning, regardless of the language it's read in, it is always true and it is always powerful. So there are 4 simple truths I want you to remember from the Bible as you finish your senior year and prepare to enter the marketplace. These truths are: love God, serve others, have a big vision, and ask for help. In the book of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 36 through 40, Matthew writes, "One of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question: 'Teacher, what is the greatest commandment in the law?' Jesus replied, 'Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it: love your neighbor as yourself. All the law and the prophets hang on these 2 commandments.' What does it mean to love God? Well, if you Google that, what does it mean to love God, you'll get 35 million results. So I'll simplify. To me personally, it means seeking to walk with Him on a daily basis, putting your absolute trust in His best for you, which can only be found through prayer, reading His Word, and by serving others. How do I know this? Because there are 4 key scriptures that tell us how God expects us to live. The first, found in Exodus 20, the 10 Commandments. The second, Matthew 22, where Jesus simplified it into 2, love God and love others. Micah 6:8 says, "He showed you, O man, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." And James 1:27 further simplifies the message into this: "Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world." Apparently, if you are to love God, we must love and we must serve others. So my second point was, serve others. Don't just look at how you can use your degree to advance yourself. Instead, look how you can use your degree to serve others. In Matthew 20, the mother of James and John came to Jesus with this request. And I'm reading from the Message, so this is like street talk. "What do you want?" Jesus asked. She said, "Give your word, and these 2 sons of mine will be awarded the highest places of honor in your kingdom, one at your right hand and one at your left." Jesus responded, "You have no idea of what you're asking." And he said to James and John, "Are you capable of drinking the cup that I'm about to drink?" They said, "Sure, why not?" Jesus said, "Come to think of it, you are going to drink my cup. But as to awarding places of honor, that's not my business. My Father is taking care of that." So when the other 10 disciples heard this, they were a little bit indignant. So Jesus got them together to settle things down, and he said, "You've observed how godless rulers throw their weight around, how quickly a little power goes to their heads. It's not going to be that way with you. Whoever wants to be great must become a servant. Whoever wants to be first among you must be your slave. This is what the Son of Man has done. He came to serve, not to be served, and then to give his life in exchange for the many who are held hostage. Third, have a big dream. My favorite story and my favorite character in the Bible is Joseph. In the book of Genesis, it is written, Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. Joseph's dream was so big that without hope, he might not have even been able to accomplish it. Joseph's dreams were so big that they took him to the courts of Egypt as second in the land, only to Pharaoh. Why? Because he was a dreamer who could interpret dreams. And of course, all this happened after Joseph was sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused of rape by the wife of his master, to whom he had shown nothing but loyalty, and then thrown into jail and forgotten by those who promised to get him out. To oversimplify the story, Joseph had a dream that was part of God's bigger plan to send a Savior through the nation of Israel. So the accomplishment of God's big dream for you begins with a vision. A vision is a precise, clearly defined goal. In Proverbs 29:18, Solomon writes, where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. The accomplishment of a vision begins with a hope. Hope is a well-founded and confident belief that a specific vision or dream will be achieved. Solomon wrote in Proverbs 13:12, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but desire fulfilled is the tree of life. So I challenge you to ask God for a big dream for your life and the hope and vision to accomplish that dream. And then fourth, don't go it alone. Instead, ask for help. In Proverbs 15:22, the author writes, without counsel, plans are frustrated, but with many counselors, they succeed. A.W. Tozer wrote, God is looking for people through whom he can do the impossible. What a pity we plan to do only the things that we can do by ourselves. In Ecclesiastes 4:9-12, it is written, two are better than one, because they have a good return for their work. If one falls down, his friend can help him up. But pity the man who falls and has no one to help him up. Also, if two lie down together, they will keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Though one may be overpowered, two can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. You need a partner. Why? Because 2 or more are better than one. You need a partner or a counselor or a mentor, someone who provide needed insight, advice, wisdom, or any practical help in achieving your dream or your vision. The consequences of going it alone are that you will probably fail without good, sound advice. Solomon tells us that without counsel, your plans will frustrate you, disappoint you, or completely fail on you. So, love God, serve others, have a big dream, and remember that 2 are better than 1. God bless you this year. Have a great year.
One